Amanda, we're not getting any sound from you. Oh, try now.
Okay, how about now?
Yes, there we go. We got you back.
Oh, all right. I don't know what that was about, but cool. Let's start over, guys. So good morning. Welcome to Spokane Buddhist Temple's virtual service. My name is Amanda Goodwin, and I will be your MC. Your doshi for today's service will be Reverend Melissa Opal. Before we begin, please know that we will be muting your mics. It's recommended that you turn your camera off and switch your viewing mode to speaker view. To do this, just go to the upper right-hand corner of your screen and you should see view where you can choose speaker view. If you do not want your picture or name shown, since we do live stream our services to Facebook, please take this into account and update it accordingly. After service today, we will have some time for socializing and discussing the Dharma talk that we hear, so please stay to enjoy that with us. Today, we are celebrating Nirvana Day, which remembers the death of the Buddha when he reached nirvana at the age of 80. Nirvana is believed to be the end of the cycle of death and rebirth. Today, we will also have our monthly Shosuke Hoyo observance. Reverend Melissa Opal will lead us in our opening chant, which is the Shishin Rai. The Shishin Rai can be found on page 28 in your service book, and I will share my screen if you don't have a service book readily available. Thank you.
Namo Mirabutsu. Namo Mirabutsu. Namo Mirabutsu. Namandatsu, namandatsu, namandatsu.
We will now read the golden chain number 2 on page 15. I am a link in the Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in the Buddha's golden chain of love become bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Please turn to page 12 for the reading of the Jodo Shinshu Creed number 2. Together, please. I affirm my faith in Amita's infinite wisdom and compassion. Reciting the sacred name, I shall live with strength and joy. I shall look to Amita's guiding light. As I reflect upon my imperfect self, I live with gratitude for the perfect compassion which surrounds me at all times. I shall follow Amita's teachings. I shall understand the right path and resolve to spread the true teachings. I rejoice in Amita's wisdom and compassion. I shall respect and help my fellow beings and work for the good of my community. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. The sutra chant this morning will be the Sanbutsuge on page 79.
Kogen gigi ijin mugoku nyo zeien myo muyo tosha nichigatsu ni shuko en yo kai shitsu onpe yunyaku jumoku nyorai yogen chose murin shogaku daion koru jipo kaimon chojin san mai chie itokuru yo shusho keiyu Jintai Zennen Shobutsu Hokai Gujin Jin no Kugo Gai Tai Mumyo Yokunu Se Shon Yomu Ninyo Shishi Jin Tokumu Yo Kukun Kodai Chie Jin Yo Komyo iso shindo dai sen ga 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 sabutsu zai shoho o kado shoji mi fuge dat fuse joi kai nin shojin nyoze san mai shie isho Gose tokubutsu fugyo shigan isai kuku eisa dayan keishi ubutsu yakusen okuman muryo daisho shunyo goja kuyo isai shito shobutsu 不尿具道検証不逆非尿合者小物正解無不可け無種節度公明師匠変地証拠尿税精進偉人や量ヨガサ仏国土第一号宗奇妙道場小説国尿内容任務闘争がと意味合い到達一切自母来症心熱症状糸が国気楽王安鉱物神妙自我心象発願の日力少々直自母生産知恵向け常用子孫死が診療計量心死食特殊が行精進人数不敬ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブ何しくどく妙な聖祭の本つぼ大師お嬢らこナモミラブツナモミラブツナモミラブツナマンダツナマンダツナマンダツナマンダツ
Today's Dharma talk will be given by Minister's Assistant Chad Donahoe.
Please join me in Gassho. When the one thought moment of joy arises, nirvana is attained without severing blind passion. When ignorant and wise, even grave offenders and slanders of the Dharma, all alike turn and enter Shinjin. They are like waters that on entering the ocean become one in taste with it. The light of compassion that grasps us illumines and protects us always. The darkness of our ignorance is already broken. Namo Mita Butsu. Namo Mita Butsu. Namo Mita Butsu. Namanda Namanda. So I'd just like to say before I start, happy Valentine's Day to everybody. I hope everyone's having a good one. But of course, we are not here today to talk about Valentine's Day. We are here to talk about Nirvana Day. So Nirvana Day, sometimes known as Paranirvana Day, or in Japanese, Nehane. Nirvana is a Sanskrit word, sometimes translated as to blow out or extinguish, as in to blow out the fires of blind passion and desires. I'm sure everyone here has heard the story of how Siddhartha Gautama became the Buddha, but I think a quick recap is necessary to truly understand Nirvana Day. So Siddhartha was born into royalty, and his parents did everything they could so that he didn't even see anything unpleasant. But one day, he snuck out with the servant, and he saw sickness, old age, and death. And this fundamentally changed his worldview. And he began a quest to understand the truth of suffering. And so to do this, he consulted many people. He saw mystics and wise men and anyone he could possibly talk to try and learn the truth. Eventually, he became an ascetic, which is a type of extreme self-denial. So after pushing this as far as he possibly could and coming no closer to the truth than when he began, he decided to simply sit under a tree and meditate. And this he did. And I believe he did it for 40 days. And there are many fantastic tales about what happened during that time, where gods and demons visited him, and Mara the tempter came to try and lure him off the path. But what matters and what we should take away from this is at the end of this, he awakened to the true nature of reality and became the awoken one, or the Buddha. And he entered the state of nirvana. Now, nirvana is unconditioned reality, reality experienced without views, without prejudice, without aversion or attachment. And as he entered this state of nirvana, he also came to understand the truth of interdependence and interconnectedness, and knew that he must share this teaching with as many people as he possibly could. He was only 35 when he entered nirvana, and he would spend the next 45 years spreading the teachings. But though the Buddha had entered nirvana, he was still only a human. He experienced all the frailty that comes with the human form. He got sick, he got hungry, he got tired, and eventually old age caught up with him. And some say that his passing was brought about because he ate bad pork. Some say that he had become a vegetarian by this point, and apparently there's a Sanskrit word for truffle, which translates to soft pork. And the reason for this is because pigs were used to find truffles, so soft pork. Others just believe there was something else entirely that happened, but the important part to remember is that he was dying, and he knew this. And so he gathered his followers together, and he gave his last talk, which is known as the Mahaparinirvana Sutra. And in this, he passed on many words of wisdom, and the ones that always stick to me in this are these. Dear disciples, my end is approaching, and the time for our parting is near. But do not lament. Life is ever changing. None can escape the disillusion of the body. Do not forget that death is only the disappearance of the physical body. Our body was born from parents and nourished by food, so sickness and death are unavoidable. But the true Buddha is not a human body. The true Buddha is enlightenment. A human body must disappear, but the wisdom and compassion of enlightenment exists forever. Those who see only my body do not truly see me. Do not vainly lament, but wonder at the law of transiency and learn from it. Do not cherish the unworthy desire that the changeable might become unchanging. Break the bonds of worldly passion and drive them away as you would a viper. And so eventually the Buddha would succumb to his illness, and he laid down on his side between two solid trees and passed away. And at this point, he entered what is known as parinirvana, which is different than nirvana in that in parinirvana, you transcend the human form. But though he had exited this human existence, he left behind the teachings. And this is the point of Nirvana Day. For though just like Shosuke Hoyo that we will do later, Nirvana Day is not about grieving for the passing of the Buddha. It is about celebrating his life and showing gratitude for all that he gave us. And what he gave us, of course, were the teachings, because the Buddha, being a being of supreme compassion, his greatest wish was that all other beings would be able to experience the liberation of enlightenment that he had experienced. But he understood that although he was able to enter nirvana through his own power for the rest of this, and maintain this for the rest of his life, for the rest of us, this would be extremely difficult, if not impossible. And so for this, he left the many sutras for us to study to try and attain this. But for those of us truly unskilled, he left the story of Amida, the Buddha of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. And he left the means by which we could use this to attain enlightenment. All that is necessary in order for this to happen is for us to say the name with a sincere and entrusting heart. And so for all of us foolish beings full of blind passions, let us do our best today to try to honor the Buddha's wish and seek refuge in Amida Buddha. Please join me in Gassho. When the one thought moment of joy arises, nirvana is attained without severing blind passions. When ignorant and wise, even grave offenders and slanders of the Dharma, all alike turn and enter Shinjin. They are like waters that on entering the ocean become one in taste with it. The light of compassion that grasps us, illumines and protects us always. The darkness of our ignorance is already broken through. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Thank you.
Thank you for a wonderful Dharma talk, Chad. We will now read the 3 treasures on page 9, led by Reverend Melissa Opal. And I apologize, it'll take me one moment to get to page 9. I was really caught up in that. It was wonderful, Chad.
Rare is it to receive life in human form, yet now I have received it. Rare is it to hear the Buddha Dharma, yet now I have heard it. Unless I cross this elusive world in the present life, in what life could I possibly cross it? Let us assemble together and take refuge in the 3 treasures with deep sincerity. I take refuge in the Buddha. My sincere wish is that together with all beings, I may understand and experience the great path and rise to the highest Bodhi mind. I take refuge in the Dharma. My sincere wish is that together with all beings, I may deeply enter the storehouse of sutras and attain ocean-like wisdom. I take refuge in the Sangha. My sincere wish is that together with all beings, I may accordingly be united in the great assembly and become free from all delusions. The highest, most profound, and wondrous Dharma is rare to encounter, even through millions of kalpas. Now I am able to see and hear it, to receive and keep it. It is my sincere wish that I may understand the true and real essence of the Tathagata. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandats, namandats, namandats.
Reverend Opal, will you also please lead us into Shosuke Hoyo and introduce Sean to read the names? Thank you.
Absolutely. Today we are observing the Shosuke Hoyo for the month of February. Shosuke Hoyo is an opportunity to remember our deceased friends and family and to express our gratitude for the many ways their actions have continued to support and benefit our lives. When I deeply contemplate the transient nature of human life, I realize that from beginning to end, life is impermanent, like an illusion. We have not yet heard of anyone who lived 10,000 years. How fleeting is a lifetime? Who in this world today can maintain a human form for even 100 years? There is no knowing whether I will die first or others, whether death will occur today or tomorrow. We depart one after another more quickly than the dewdrops on the roots of the tips of the blades of grasses, so it is said. Hence, we may have radiant faces in the morning, but by evening we may turn into white ashes. Once the winds of impermanence have blown, our eyes are instantly closed and our breath stops forever. Then our radiant face changes its color, and the attractive countenance, like peach and plum blossoms, is lost. Family and relatives will gather and grieve, but all to no avail. Since there is nothing else that can be done, they carry the deceased out to the fields, and then what is left after the body has been cremated and has turned into the midnight smoke is just white ashes. Words fail to describe the sadness of it all. Thus, the ephemeral nature of human existence is such that death comes to young and old alike without discrimination. So we should all quickly take heart the matter of the greatest importance of the afterlife. Entrust ourselves deeply to Amida Buddha and recite the Nembutsu humbly and respectfully. You may not recognize the names being read on the list today, but know that you have benefited from their lives, as they have either contributed to the physical space of this temple, the teachings of Jodo Shinshu and Amida Buddha, or the people that are here today. When the sadness of losing a loved one begins to ease, we are able to think on their life and how they have impacted us. When a person dies, we are all affected. A part of all of us is taken. We must understand our own death, and when we do, we will find relevance in the passing of others. Sean will now read the names for the month of February, and after he's read the names, we will sit in a moment of silence and reflect on how the teachings of the Buddha affected their lives and ours. Sean?
Alpha May Clark, Karsten Nis Oldson, John Goodson, Shirley Bennett, Hazuo Horita, Mary Ikebe, Tsutai Muraoka, Nobuichi Nitta, Edward Parker, Ito Tanaka, Evelyn Beller Viel, Masao Mas Wada, Midori Yamasaki, Chieko Yamauchi, Wilson Burdett, Jim Bennett.
Please join me in Gasho. Although I may not know you as well, in one sense, I have always known you. Through true and real life that flows in you and me and everyone around us. Because of this true and real life, I love you deeply as I love myself deeply. Please join me in repeating the 3 homages. I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha. Namo Mirabutsu. Namo Mirabutsu. Namo Mirabutsu. Namandats. Namandats. Namandats.
Thank you, Sean. We will now have time for a few short announcements. If you didn't submit your announcements prior to service, you can go ahead and put them in the chat box and we will try to get to you. I'll let everybody unmute themselves here.
We have an announcement on Jules Helping Hands from Trisha. Trisha, if you're speaking, you're still on mute and we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I am urging, I've got to echo. Uh-oh. I am urging everyone to go to Jules Helping Hands on Facebook. I'm going to read just a little from one of the posts. It's just plain sad tonight, guys. 3 dead to exposure, another just brought into a restaurant. He can't talk or move. He is so cold. He's basically frozen in place. We can do better than this, Spokane. When we drive around Spokane, we can see many of the homeless people and feel thankful that we are not in their same position. But one way that we can reach out and help them is to make donations to the temple, which will be used and sent to Helping Hands for these people in our community. So far, we have raised $1,500. We've helped them pay their electric bill for this month, and we'll be moving forward to help them next month again. That's all.
Great. Thank you, Trisha. And thank you to our newly formed Social Welfare Committee for spearheading this and allowing the temple the opportunity to help those that are some of our most vulnerable in society. As a reminder, if you would like to watch, there's a special Northwest District service that was done this last week. Just trying to find the link for it. If you go to the Spokane Buddhist Temple, Mary was nice enough to post the link on there for it. And so that service is available on YouTube, and that is the Lady Cujo service that Amanda and I were able to participate in. And there was some really wonderful Dharma talks that were part of that. Also, if you speak Japanese, there is a wonderful Japanese talk from Reverend Dr. Wondra on there as well. So I highly encourage you guys to head over to the YouTube and channel for Northwest District. I believe the Seattle Between has it posted on there as well. And I think that's all we have for announcements.
Thank you. In place of Oshoka, we will have a few moments of quiet sitting to think on the Buddha and to express our gratitude for the teachings. After that, don't sign off. We'll have our socialization and get to talk about that great Dharma talk from Chant.
And that now concludes our Nirvana Day service for Sunday, February 14th. And as to echo Chad's sentiments, happy Valentine's Day to all. And please stick around for the discussion group. For those that are joining us on Facebook Live, thank you so much for joining us. We wish you a safe, warm day, as best you can to stay indoors and stay as warm as possible. Thank you again.